Thank you everyone again for joining the webinar today. Nathan, are you ready?
Hi everyone. Yes, let me share my screen. Okay, great. Can you see my screen all right?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you everyone for being here. We're excited to show you the Vaidio DIY software kit and walk you through. I will be doing the PowerPoint. There are only 10 slides, so bear with me here, and then we'll pass it back over to Mai to go through the user interface of the DIY, just to show you how easy it is. So I want to run through what this is and some use cases, and we'll turn it over from there. So we are presenting the DIY AI engine builder kit for your Vaidio platform. There's a lot that goes into a Vaidio engine. Today, we're going to be focusing on the building of that AI engine. So it's as simple as training it, and then you get back the engine that you want to use in your Vaidio platform. So there's ease of use. No knowledge is required about neural networks, AI libraries, algorithms, data sets, none of that. If you're not an AI scientist, don't worry. All you need is video footage and images to show the machine what it is that you're looking to detect or alert on or to count. Whatever it is, if you just have that video footage, the rest can be handled in here fairly easily, as you'll see. There's extreme versatility here. I'll go over these use cases. It's much more than just detecting a single object. There's an easy to use interface, and then there is a ton of security behind this. If this is proprietary information on your manufacturing line, excuse me, you can have that blocked off and just keep that in-house. You don't have to share any of that information with anybody. Those are your engines to own if you want to keep them private and secure. It could run on your local machine. No worries sending that to a third party to have that data. Okay, so how does this work? Mai will be going through this, but it's as simple as just downloading the software kit, uploading your images, then you're highlighting which objects you want to detect or alert for, and then the machine interacts with you, and then you can see the accuracy improve. It'll spit out an engine for you, and you upload that into your Vaidio platform, and then it's ready for use. So here's a couple of use cases here. A use case with a manufacturing line. You can do quality control on raw materials. So you can detect defects in material. We had a steel manufacturer that was producing steel, and as the steel was going down the line, if there were any bubbles or defects or marks or scuffs on that, the way that it was going is that would be produced, that would be bundled up, that would be given to other manufacturing plants to use, and they would notice that there was a defect and there was tens of thousands of dollars being spent shipping that back. Now, as steel is being pushed down the line, it can be called out instantly, and the machine line can be shut down. They can remove that poor quality material and go about their way. They don't have to ship that to anybody. Same thing with parts and pieces, cogs being made. If there's any issues in that material, you could shut down the assembly line and do what you need to do from there. We've been able to put this in drones to help civil engineers and city architects. You can teach it what concrete looks like, as you can see here. You can have the drone scan the building, and if there's any corroding, decaying concrete, you could get that alert instantly. You could have this go around a dam, and if there's any issues in that concrete, you can be notified. You can see the defects, and you can go take care of that situation. And then also, lastly here, we have drone detection. This is becoming very popular. You can teach it what a drone looks like, and you can have this around your building. And if a drone is overhead or comes into your building space, if it's around the windows of your commercial building and you have cameras on it, then you could get instantly alerted. So there's plenty of drone footage out there, and you can just upload it into the machine, drag and show it what a drone is, and then you will have drone detection. And we could go over the cost by request, just so everyone is up to speed on it. We don't want to confuse anyone on this call right now, but please set a time with your AI CUDA rep or your IronYun rep, and we will take care of you with pricing. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Mai now.
Thank you, Nathan. So like Nathan was saying, the software is ready to use very easily. Let me share my screen here to show you the actual software. Can you see my screen?
Looks great.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so here is the Vaidio DIY software. As you can see, it allows us to pull in images from any source. Here is a video that we download from the internet to train a model to detect boxes. Okay, so basically you can get extract images from that video and upload it into this Vaidio DIY tool. I already loaded in here, and then you can just start labeling the image. So in this case, I want to label the box object, right? And then I also want to label the person, so that for this use case, we want to send an alert when a box is delivered, or if there is some people that take the deliver packages from your doorstep. So either case can be used here, and that's it. Now this image is labeled, and of course we will use several images, such as this one. We can do the same process, label the person, okay, and then label the box. And if we repeat this for many, I would say in this case, we need a few thousand images, then we can package these label images and make it, send it to the training server and get a final trained model, which we can then apply to Vaidio, the Vaidio server, and run the box detection or person detection like usual. So as you can see, the software is all, what you see is what you get, right? There's no programming involved here. When everything is done, you just click on this button to package the data set like this. Okay, it's building the package, and then send to the now the system is training it. So that's all there is to it. Any questions so far?
Excellent. We could field your questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to send them in now and we can go over them. I see that there is one. And Abdallah, you're asking if you can have the responsibility to sell this in Egypt. Thank you for that. I love the enthusiasm. We will reach out to you. Our EMEA region will reach out to you and help support you on those efforts.
So on the screen right now, as you see, we previously trained a version of the box model. So this is one version. The process goes like this. You label some images, you send it to us so that we can train the first version of the model for you. And like this, okay? And then you will have that model. You can apply it to test to a set of videos, for example. And if the result seems to be acceptable, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. You can just use that model. So in this case, I have some video uploaded just to test if it works. Okay, so I'm gonna try to see. So right now it shows that the boxes are not quite detected yet because the video to test is different from, of course, different from the videos to train, and the different conditions, different resolutions may affect it. So that means I should go back and retrain the model and apply new data. Then you will label again using this tool and send us the second set of data so that we can train the version 2 of that model. And we keep doing that until you are satisfied with the accuracy with the detection.
That's excellent.
Okay?
And we have another question. They're curious,
Yes.
have we worked with any analog cameras?
So for the training process, it doesn't matter where the image comes from. Analog or IP camera doesn't matter because it just cares about the image, the object in that image, the resolution of that image. However, when you want to apply the trained model, like the finished product, to detect things in real time, then Vaidio, not Vaidio DIY, but Vaidio itself, this tool right here to do video search, to do alert, that needs to get the RTSP stream from the camera. So IP camera is preferred so that it can give the RTSP stream. If you don't have an if you don't have an IP camera but only an analog camera, then we need to feed it through an NVR, and that would give the stream. Okay.
Excellent. And then we have another question that's asking, is there a reference? Please, where did you do these mega projects with this VMS? I think you're asking about the case studies. We had a steel manufacturer that I mentioned earlier. I think I kind of went through that. If there's something more specific there, please let us know. If you're asking about which VMSs we can run this on and work with, we could work with nearly all of the major VMSs out there. And we could work with, as Mai just mentioned, a camera if it has an IP address, or you could generate an RTSP stream. We can work with that camera as well.
Yes, so this is separate from the VMS. VMS is to if you want to pull a stream from the VMS into Vaidio, that's totally okay. We've done that. Like Nathan said, we've integrated with many VMS partners. The Vaidio DIY training tool to make a model, okay, to allow the AI engine to know what to detect in the camera. That's different, and that is not related to any VMS. It can essentially, the product can work with any VMS.
That's very clear. Okay. And another question is, do you have an edge, the possibility to run this on the edge near cameras?
Absolutely, yes. This model can run anywhere. It doesn't matter what kind of, like how many channels you need. It only needs the edge device. And actually, so let me go back. This tool to train the model, it runs on my laptop right now. Okay, it's very lightweight. Doesn't need a GPU card. After you have the model, after you label the data and then send us the label data so that we can send you back the model, that model needs to run in the Vaidio software. And Vaidio software does need the GPU. So we have a line of product for the edge processing. And it's lightweight. It's for one camera or a few cameras, or you can also have like any size project is okay.
Excellent. Oh, this is another great question. to reach the accuracy of 90%, how many images are needed as sample?
Okay, so it depends on your environment. If your environment is very straightforward, it's fixed like an assembly line, then you only need about 200 or 500 images because everything looks the same, it never changes, right? However, if you have like a variable environment such as box detection, package detection, every house looks different, lighting conditions are different. In that case, we do need a few thousands to start and maybe even 10,000 images at the least to get to 90% accuracy.
Great. And like you showed there as well, once you have dozens of these uploaded, you can work with the machine to help it train much faster as well. And
Yes,
then
that's correct.
another note is if we could share any of these references from the DIY projects that we've done, absolutely feel free to reach out to the AI CUDA or IronYun teams, and we'll share all of the case studies that we have that have utilized this.
We are also allowing everyone to talk, so please feel free to raise your hand or unmute yourself, and we're opening up the discussion here.
Hey, I got another question.
Yes.
There's a customer asking, can you create a model from an object and also create categories? So for example, if you have a boat, can you then split it in categories like sailing yacht, motorboat, vessel? Can you do that with this model?
Absolutely, yes. You can create as many what we call object type as you want to. There is no big category, but individual types such as motorboat or sailboat. You can, as long as your data show those types, you can classify them as boat only or as individual, more specific types.
Okay, I see there's also another question. Can Vaidio DI also detect specific abnormal behaviors? So in general, can AI engine be trained this way, not only objects?
For behaviors, it requires a different engine. So please talk to us. We would need to know specifically what your requirements are, and then we can determine if this tool will fit, or if we need a different tool, we can discuss.
To add to that, the ability to detect behaviors is possible, but it may not be possible in this DIY builder. So we need more information, but we could produce that analytic for you one way or another.
Yeah, I have a question, please.
Yes.
Actually, I understood, as far as I understood, as I have to create the model, then I upload it to you for making the programming for the video analytic and so on. If I'm talking about, for example, a perimeter with the number of cameras for sensitive area, and how secured is dealing with data and the private data and for secured location. Why
Okay.
don't I have the access to program the module and just have the software and do it ourselves, for example? Like, for example, we have from Epstech or other vendor for video analytic. We did everything outside.
So if I understand correctly what you mean, you worry about whether you can access the model and the analytics in your secure area without the internet?
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. So after you have trained the model, then you own everything. The video software can be run within your local network to access the cameras in that secure area. There is no
Yeah,
internet
but you still
involved.
have the model. You still have the model in your server, so it is not. I don't think it's secured. Also, from the security point of
This
view.
is this will be an agreement between the two companies, right? We will, after we deliver the model to you, we'll remove it from our system completely.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
There's another question. Does the process of training AI engine and creating new detections consume a lot of CPU and GPU power in the end?
Yes, the process of training the model does require a lot of GPU processors. So that's why we have dedicated training servers for this type of work. Now, actually, to answer the earlier questions from Sharif, if you have the facility, the servers to train the model in your site, we can provide you the software and the training, and then you will train that model with your own server, so that we don't even have the trained model. Okay, so in that case, you don't have to worry about us like not removing the model from our system.
Does it sound great?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so actually we brought this Vaidio DEI in the market because we got a lot of requests for can you create this object, can you create that object? Then we start asking the customer, can you give us then material? And as soon as it is sensitive material, customers don't want to share. So this is actually the reason why we brought this model to the market and give customers the tool to train it in their own environment without us involved.
Is there any is there any demo version for just to try it in our workstation or computer, just to have an idea before we go through the professional or this licensing program?
Let's discuss. Yeah, please contact us, and we'll work out yeah, we'll work out a package for you.
Okay. Okay.
There's another question from Kamal. Do you have face recognition feature empowered by your AI models?
Yes, we do have face recognition engine in our system. That one we trained ourselves. We use special, like, gotta be facial data to train that, and it's not DIY, but the answer is yes, we do have face recognition.
Excuse me, regarding face recognition, you need to use a higher resolution camera, at least should be 4K or 8 megapixel camera with analog or low resolution. I think it's not possible to make a face recognition engine.
Actually,
That's right?
actually, we don't need 4K cameras. Our customers are using 2 megapixel, 3 megapixel cameras, 1080p cameras, and it's possible to do face recognition with those. In both the access control type and the face in the wild detection type, we require very low, we require only 80 pixel per face to do the recognition.
And then to add to the facial rec, the follow-up question is, what is the accuracy of the facial rec?
Yes, so our accuracy right now is over 99%. Of course, that is if all of the conditions are satisfied, such as good lighting, not the angle is not too high. If there are some variations from that, then the accuracy, the percentage that the face detected can match the face in the database would decrease. And again, it really depends on the environment. But in testing, actually we have the testing done with NIST, the National Institute of America, and is 99.6% accurate.
The next questions for the facial rec is, how many faces can you detect at the same time? And what is the speed of detection?
Yes, so the number of faces detected depends on the size of the face in that image. If all of the faces satisfy the condition of at least 80 pixel, 80 high and 80 wide, then it can be as many as you want. But of course, with a 1080p camera and people overlapping, covering one another, then it would be, I would say, on average, 10 faces per image. Okay, and for the speed, from the time the person appears on the camera, the data are transmitted into the system, the video system, and processed, and then send the alert out into the relay device to open the door, for example. That whole process takes only 1 or 2 seconds. So the actual processing time for each image is in the order of milliseconds.
That's great. Yes, it's remarkably quick. There's another question here. This is an interesting one. It said, for the DIY tool, do you see any limits with this tool, or this can achieve all the AI features that you desire? Or what's the rule of, what are your thoughts on that?
I would not say that it can achieve everything because that's like the possibilities out there are just so vast. But I would say it can achieve above 95% of all of the requests we've seen so far. And there are a lot of custom projects like Nathan mentioned, and all of them can be done using DIY because as long as you can see something, you can define it, then you can tell the AI engine what to look for. So the answer is yes, it can cover the majority of all needs that we've seen.
I want to add something, because actually I have some customers who are asking, can we actually build our own solution? It depends, of course, on the limitations, but we have customers who are intending to build their own solution and use our Vaidio platform as the infrastructure. And there's a GUI available, and you can indeed create, if you have some specific object that you want to train, or specific situation you want to train, then you can actually build your own product with the help of our infrastructure, which is already available.
Yes, thank you, John. Actually, we have many webinars that cover individual analytics that we have in the platform. So face recognition, people counting, vehicle tracking, all of those, we have individual webinars for them. So we would love to have you there in each webinars and hear your thoughts about those at each analytics.
I see another question. Is there such model for airport terminals which have heavy traffic?
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
Sharif is asking, is there such model for airport terminals which have heavy traffic?
Yes, it depends on what you want to do in the airport. Do you want to detect people and luggage and bags? We already have that detection. Or if you want to count people, how many are standing in line at the check-in, security check-in, yes, we also have that. We also have another project with the airport to detect cracks on the runway or any kind of defects on the runway. So it really varies. Please talk with us separately if you have a specific need for airport environment.
Okay, and there's another question. What is your pricing model, per camera or feature or module, etc.?
It is per camera, per analytic. So face recognition, 10 channels, there is a price for that per channel. And of course, the other analytics have different pricing. So please talk with John here and Nathan and all of our sales team for more information on the pricing.
I do not see any other questions anymore. So if there are no questions anymore, then we can finalize the webinar because we are already 5 minutes over time.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate your feedback, and please shoot us an email anytime. We look forward to seeing you in the next webinar.